And today we got what dying on every feels like. Now, I'm just gonna get right into the video. I don't really ain't got no experience when it comes to DRUG, and I'm only spelling it out because I don't want no smoke with YouTube, bro. Y'all be demonetizing me for nothing, bro. Just let me cook, let me eat, man. I'm starving out here, gang. But anyways, let's get right into the video, see what it's talking about and how terrible of the suffering and pain is dying on DURGS. Make sure you guys tap into the Twitch streams. Link to that is in the description. That's Where You At Berto. We streaming every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to see you there. Come on, man. Where You At FM?
Where you at, Berto?
Shrooms are a natural psychedelic that cause hallucinations. About 30 minutes after eating them, colors get brighter, patterns start crawling on the walls, time stretches like taffy, and your sense of self begins to melt. Your brain is rushed into a state of euphoria, leaving you questioning what's real and what's not. But what happens when you take too much? On a calm Saturday afternoon, a 21-year-old Hispanic man would return home from work and consume an unspecified quantity of shrooms. Shortly after consumption, he started experiencing a bad trip and begun acting erratically upon arriving to his house. His stepfather and brother would step in and restrain him to try to calm him down, but he'd break free of their grasp and also break a glass vase in the process. In his frenzied state, he'd then begin to rub himself against the glass shards on the floor.
Oh my God!
And severely injure his arms and legs. His brother and stepfather would successfully intervene to stop him from injuring himself any further with the glass shards, and he'd be sat down at a desk. But shockingly enough, in a horrific act...
Oh yeah, I did just make fun of Feek for this. Hypocrite!
He'd take a number 2 pencil that was laying on the desk, stand it upright, and repeatedly smash his head on the sharpened pencil.
What the fuck?
When he raised his head, he'd reveal that he jabbed the pencil repeatedly into both of his eye sockets. He would stand up again to do something else, but quickly vomited on himself, leaving his family in a state of total panic.
Kids don't do drugs, bro.
Emergency services were called, where they tried desperately to save the young man's life, but unfortunately, they would only get so far. Shrooms are one of the least toxic substances in the world. You'd need to eat dozens or even hundreds of grams to fatally overdose. But
so what the fuck, the nigga ate everything? Jesus, how do you even get that much?
That doesn't mean people can't die from it. Most fatalities come from behavioral toxicity, panicking, jumping out windows, walking into traffic.
What's good,
or
Izzy?
Doing something fatal during a full-blown psychotic
Welcome
break.
to the stream.
You won't pass away from the drug itself. You'll pass away from what it does to your mind. The Gator incident.
Brain dead.
Now let's talk about meth. When
Gatorade?
It hits, you feel invincible. This substance cranks up your
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you consuming meth, it's GG's, bro. Whatever happens to you, you have it coming, nigga. I don't even really feel bad for you. Like, come on, man.
sympathetic nervous system.
You living life like it's GTA at that point.
And causes an explosive release of dopamine in your body. Your heart starts racing, you become laser focused, and you'll be filled with unstoppable energy. The high can last 8 to 16 hours. No sleep, no food, just intense stimulation. And when you take too much, your body turns into an absolute war zone. On May 26th in Orlando, Florida, concerned...
Oh my God, it's always fucking Florida, bro. It should be pissing me off. Like, I can't even rep my fucking home state with confidence. It's always Florida. It's literally always Florida, bro. It is not that bad.
Bystanders would phone a call to police officers to let them know that there was a man on a racetrack.
And Berto, how did you survive down there? Bro, I promise you it is not that bad. The internet makes it out to be something that it's not, bruh. Come on, man. Come on.
Shaking violently, asking to see his son. When police arrived, he was nowhere to be found, until suddenly he was located in a lake, full of alligators. Officers would try to throw the man a life vest, but he'd refuse it and would start getting attacked by the alligators in the water. To officers' surprise, like it was a scene straight out of a horror movie, the man actually resurfaced out of the lake, covered in severe injuries and carrying gardening shears. He would charge at the officers in their car, and in response, they would tase him repeatedly, but it would have absolutely no effect. It was only...
Hell no, that nigga got that dum-dum strength. If you know what I'm talking about, you know.
When the man jumped into the passenger seat of the police cruiser and tried reaching for a rifle in the vehicle, that officers finally used lethal force. Meth hijacks your brain's reward system and sends your body into overdrive. It burns out your dopamine center and disrupts your central nervous system so much that your body both loses touch with reality and can no longer regulate its temperature. Your organs can literally cook from the inside out and cause you to collapse. You can have a heart attack, or you could simply just go on a rampage and meet an early demise like this man. The 108th incident. Weed is by far one of the most commonly used substances in the United States. Within minutes of smoking, you're relaxed, music sounds better, jokes are funnier,
That good old green.
and you get really, really hungry. You might feel euphoric, or anxious, or both.
What up, Razor?
It depends on the strain, your mood, and your brain chemistry. So what happens when you smoke too much of it? Well, here's the truth. You can't die from THC toxicity alone. There's no known lethal dose in humans. You'd have to smoke thousands of joints in a short time to even come close. But that doesn't mean weed is harmless.
I always take the approach, and the main reason why I don't get deep involved in this stuff is because I'm really big on my health, bro. And all I know is, and I don't mean to sound like a stickler. I know I know how y'all get down, bro. Y'all like that green, man. Y'all love it. But just take in consideration that your body genuinely was only made to absorb oxygen in your lungs, bro. Anything that's not oxygen is technically not supposed to be there.
In the spring of 2018 in California, a woman who had just befriended a man at a dog park she frequently visited would follow him home to his apartment for a quick spark-up session, which, mind you, is totally legal in the state of California. After the two finished lighting up grass through a bong, the woman would unexpectedly shoot up from her seat straight to the kitchen and grab 3 knives.
Hey, could you come back with some chips? And maybe some ice
Knives?
cream. And maybe some chicken Oh,
The fuck? Off the green?
are you trying to chop up some salsa? I love salsa.
Jim, I'm not making salsa.
In just the blink of an eye, she would stab the man repeatedly non-stop 108 times. His body
Nah, bro, that bitch was already a murderer, bro. Hey, she was already on that, I ain't gonna lie. The green don't just make you do shit like that. She was already like about to do it, and that just made her fucking intrusive thoughts go over the edge, because you don't just wake up and do that off the green.
would be covered in stab marks from head to toe, and his face would nearly be entirely carved out. Officers that arrived at the scene would find
my
that she
God.
had also stabbed her dog, and shockingly enough, had stabbed herself 40 times, and was still in the process.
What? I ain't gonna, nah, that's a different level of crazy, bro. Stabbing yourself? Bro, no, you gotta be all like, nah, you gotta be on some other shit to be doing that to yourself 30 plus times. You know how painful that's such a terrible way to go out. And she wasn't even out yet. She was still going when the police arrived. Nah.
Of doing it. They would quickly intervene and try to physically stop her, but it wasn't enough. Officers would tase her 4 times to try to break her psychotic frenzy, but it would be to no avail. In order to get her to stop, one police officer had to swing a baton at her arm 9 times to break it, and finally she would release
Jesus.
her grip from the knife. The man unfortunately didn't make it, but surprisingly, the woman did. And even more shockingly, she faced 0 prison time for her actions because it was proven in court that she experienced what is commonly known as cannabis-induced psychosis.
What the fuck? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm haunting the fuck out of you, bitch. I'm in my grave turning. You gonna walk into your crib, plates gonna be hitting the fucking wall, all types of shit. Nah, you not just gonna do that to me and get off easy, gang. You gonna have the damn poltergeist all in your crib, gang. Ain't no way you making me go out like that, bro. You take my life and you don't get no jail time? Got me fucked up. I swear to God, I'm haunting your shit.
The woman was very inexperienced when it came to smoking weed, and that potentially played a huge role in why she experienced this rare phenomenon. She was placed on probation for 2 years and was required to do 100 hours of community service. The man's family,
Wow.
especially his father, were extremely upset when they heard about this. Understandably so.
It should never have happened. She should have never have been allowed to walk free. She should have done some time. You know, you had a jury that convicted her a unanimous conviction in less than 4 hours. And the judge went completely against all three of those entities and just said, you're free to go.
The stove. YouTube really didn't like the case on ecstasy that I found.
Nightmare fuel. Oh my God. Let me mentally prepare myself for this.
So instead, we'll go over this situation where a 26-year-old martial arts fighter and his sparring partner consumed an unnatural amount of shrooms while in their apartment. Initially, everything was fine, until they became convinced that the world was coming to an end and that the two were fighting a battle of life and death between God and the devil. The two would begin their legendary battle, and finally when the struggle finished, their friend would walk into their...
I ain't gonna lie, just like hearing this is like, this couldn't happen to me, bro. Because there's no person on this earth that could just come up to me and be like, yo, let's have a sparring match. But instead of just like sparring regular, let's take a bunch of shrooms right before. What? I'm looking at you like, nigga, yo, fuck out my face, bro. Fuck out my face. And don't talk to me ever again. Because like shit like that is like, I don't need that. Even if I was a shroom taking nigga, which I'm not, why would I want to spar, work out, you know, sharpen my skills while like on shrooms? Like people just be doing too much. That's like the equivalent, not exactly the equivalent, but I hate when I see people in the gym like hitting vapes and shit. It's like, bro, you're working out. I know you're addicted to the shit. I know it's hard to be off it, but bro, you can't even go an hour and 30 minutes in the gym without hitting the vape, gang. Like niggas just be fried, bro. Niggas just be way too fried.
Apartment room, only to find the martial arts fighter standing butt naked in the kitchen, cooking his friend's heart and remains in a stove. The victim would be found laying on the couch, missing his face, tongue, and heart. And sadly, the autopsy revealed that he was alive when his chest was ripped open and his heart was taken out. The martial arts fighter wouldn't be as lucky as the woman in our last case. He'd be formally charged and sentenced to 47 years in state prison for what he did to his friend.
He was alive? Bro, what?
Now this probably makes...
What up, Dragon? Welcome to the family. Where you at, family?
Considering that in the other case, the woman was allowed to blame psychosis for her actions and be cleared of any severe wrongdoing, whereas in this case, the fighter's state of influence was ignored and he was directly sentenced. But honestly, that's your opinion to make. When it comes to overdosing on psilocybin, you'll find that it rarely ever ends you through toxicity alone. You'll need to eat an absurd amount for that to actually happen. The real danger is psychosis, panic, and delusion. Once you compromise the healthiness and security of your mind for a quick burst of excitement, you'll find that that's where things go haywire. So in other words, don't do drugs.
Yeah, what an outro. I mean, there's really nothing more else to say. Just don't do it, bro. It's just not worth it. Be high on life, gang. It's not so bad, I promise you. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. Make sure you guys type into the Twitch streams. Link to that in the description. Where you at, family? Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when we streaming. I want to see you there, gang. Pull up.
Where you at, Berto? I made this shit look too easy.